Welcome to the conference assistant. You are the first person in this conference. Please stay on the line.
Okay, so I guess we'll call our meeting to order for the Police and Fire Commission, Monday, October 14th, 2024. Roll call, all members are present. Public appearances, comments, correspondence?
Dan Benning, and I just wanted to share this, if you haven't seen it, in the recent school newsletter. Whole article in here on the safety trainings. And I know a year ago this was a hot topic because school wasn't doing things. And our officers are in every single picture, so I know it was more than these folks, but a lot of people involved in getting with the school district and getting a plan and exercising the plan, things like that. So I just wanted to say thank you to both departments for taking the lead and participating in that one. And just a lot of other thank yous. I mean, the open house we had a couple weeks ago, I stopped by, Jim was going up and down in the truck, things like that. Yeah. I didn't see a puddle underneath it.
We checked for leaks.
Yeah. So, no, I think that was, again, well done, well attended, both at the police station and at the fire station. And then lastly, I want to thank, again, the two departments for the work session last week with the council relative to the public safety facility. I think that went very well. A lot of questions were answered. I still can't tell you where the vote would go right now, but I think it was well done and well presented. Showed them the facts, and I don't know how many toured. I saw a few out there going through it afterwards. So thank you for all that.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Okay, moving right along, I just have a few comments. First one is it's my pleasure to recognize Chief Mark Mitchell tonight since it's his last official Police and Fire Commission meeting. As we all know, Chief Mitchell has served the community well over the past 21 years. 20? 20 plus, okay. 20 and a half. You know, I'd need pages and pages to list all of his accomplishments, but here are just a few. Chief Mitchell oversaw the transformation from an all-volunteer department to one with professional firefighters and paramedics. He had the foresight to elevate our EMS service to paramedic level, and now to full-time firefighter-paramedic positions. From day one, Chief Mitchell recognized the importance of training and instituted training that's still in use today. Chief Mitchell has fought the hard fight when it comes to apparatus and equipment. He helped us understand the importance of these items to keep our community safe. Hopefully, Chief Mitchell's perseverance will pay off regarding a new fire station. But you know, he never complained, but always made do with what he had. The chief recognized and pushed for the need for proper staffing, and the community saw this and approved the staffing referendum. So please join me in thanking Chief Mitchell, Port Washington's first full-time chief, for his many accomplishments and concern for the citizens of Port Washington.
Thank you. You know, the old adage, it went by really fast. 20 years, lots happened, not only in this job, but my life and everything. So 48 total years, it's time to move on to what a lot of you are enjoying right now. So I should say the three gentlemen and the other two ladies are still dreaming about it, right? So thanks for your support. And I can't even think of how many commissioners have been on the PFC since I started. I mean, obviously Rick was there for almost the whole time. Right. But, so it's been a good time here. We love the city, and like to see it grow some more and in many ways. So thank you.
Well, from all of us, happy retirement.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could take a moment of personal privilege, I'd like
Yes.
to also extend my thank you to the chief for all you've done for the city. And you're always trying to do what you could to improve the situation, the EMS work, and it's just been fantastic. You're a dogged advocate, and you've really been a valuable member of the community. And I just thank you for working together on the things that we've worked on.
Anyone else? Okay. Okay, then this brings us to the next announcement of our new fire chief. We had interviews for that this week, and the Police and Fire Commission is happy to announce that Deputy Chief DeBoer is being promoted to fire chief. I'm sure Chief DeBoer had a good mentor along the way, and that helped a lot. And we really look forward to working with you, Joe.
Thank you. I'm really humbled and honored to accept this position, and got pretty big shoes to fill. Listen to that list. Kind of started giving me some palpitations already. So, but excited to get to work.
Sounds great. Thanks. Next item on our agenda here is discussion and possible action of hiring interim fire chief from the period of November 1st to December 31st of this year. Any discussion on that or a motion?
I'll move that we hire Deputy Chief, or promote Deputy Chief DeBoer to interim fire chief for the period from November 1 to December 31, 2024.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, then, next thing on the agenda is review of previous meeting minutes. This is both our last monthly meeting on September 9th and our special meeting on October 9th. Any corrections or updates to be made to those? Seeing none, would somebody like to make a motion to accept them?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, those pass. Next on our agenda is a recognition of service anniversaries, and this month, no anniversaries in October in the police department. Fire department has Tom Charbonneau, 42 years of service. Rick Lathrop has 14 years. Dylan Dodson is now 3 years. And Charlie Latham is 12 years of service. And the PFC thanks them for their service and hope to see him continue. Okay, moving forward, the police department, let's look at September bills. And Chief, anything that jumps out at you there?
No, not really.
Anyone have any questions for the chief?
Have we always had the Zips car wash?
Yes, it's gone under different names. I think every year or so it changes owners.
Okay.
And it looks like with that many car washes, that might be for 2 months, Chief? Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it
what
looks like
Becky was just saying, we caught a lot of the August, and so it's August, September.
Or the cars were really dirty?
We try and keep them clean.
I see that.
Looks a lot more professional then.
Exactly right. Okay. Commissioners, any questions on the police invoices? Okay, hearing none. We can move on to the police budget through, no, I'm sorry. That was bills. Yeah, calls for service, I'm sorry. Any questions on the calls for service? Okay. How about municipal court statement? Anything there? I'm sorry?
We didn't get it in time.
Okay. I'm sorry. September's calls for service, we've reviewed those. The incident-based report. Any questions, comments? Okay. And then that brings us to Chief Hingus's Chief's report.
First thing we have on Chief's report is October training. And we had pretty much, we've sent some officers through crisis intervention training. Again, that's helps the officers to de-escalate situations where somebody's maybe having a mental health crisis. We try and get all our officers through that training. Supervisory liability course, even though some of the officers that went through that aren't supervisors, you never know when they may be the officer with the most seniority at a call and have to take charge. And so we try and give them some ideas on the liabilities and good decision-making. Intoxia recertification, that's just something that that we have to do annually. And then also the in-service, we started that for this year, which goes into next year, which covers a multitude of different trainings, such as firearms and vehicle contacts and legal updates, things such as that. Any questions on that?
No, I would just say, I really like seeing this, and I like the logic behind some of the trainings that you're choosing for people. It's very helpful to us, and I think should be reassuring to the community.
Thank you. Let's see, the open house, I think the alderman took care of that for the most part. Yeah, I'd like to thank Annie for that. She did a lot of work organizing that and getting all the different groups and people that were there. And I think it was a very good success again.
It's the highlight of my fall.
Let's see, then the Axon contract. And this is just kind of an update. Per the City Hall this year, the contracts were to go through the city attorney for review. And this is a new contract, which will start in 2025 and goes for 5 years. And as you can see, it's around about $33,000 each year. The city attorney did have some changes, not many, but some changes that he wished. Somewhere he thought that it puts some liability on the city as far as open records. And Axon was willing to change that and put in the legalese, I guess, that the city attorney wanted. And so anyhow, that contract is squared away with Axon.
Perfect.
And that would start in actually February of next year.
And as I recall, there were some billing questions a few months back on that. Is all settled?
Yeah, that was actually almost, I think that was almost a year ago when that started, but that was, yeah, that got squared away.
Great.
And I think this contract is a lot more easy to read for us and for Axon.
Okay, good.
And this covers tasers and body cameras. Let's see, and the last that I have here is police lieutenant promotion. As you know, Ryan Herta is now the detective lieutenant, and so what I'm looking to do is replace the third shift lieutenant, that would be the supervisor on the road on third shift. And so that was posted just recently, and the applicants have until October 25th to get the required information to me if they're interested. And then they will go through a management assessment center at ODC, or Organizational Development Consultants. And then my plan too is to, we should have all that back, the testing, everything back by the November meeting. And so hopefully we can hold some interviews maybe before the PFC meeting next month. And then go from there. And then this position would officially start January 1st. Any questions about that?
So that doesn't affect your budget really because you didn't replace one of the captains? Is that how that works? That it allows you to hire this person or?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the reorganization that you've talked about is just one captain and the 3 or 4 lieutenants?
Correct.
Okay, good. All right. Any questions of the chief? No? Thank you for your report.
Welcome.
Okay, then I guess we can move on to the ambulance reports. And ambulance invoices.
We had to double up on our fuel invoices for September, just the way the calendar lies and the way they came from the county. Ambulance outside service, EMSMC, is the old Andres Medical Building. They were bought out, and that's what their, I guess their percentage of what we made in that month. At the bottom there, Knox, we've got a system in the city called the Knox Box program, and they're impenetrable key boxes on mostly commercial buildings that we have keys for and our police have keys for to get in after hours and if we so we don't have to break in. In the vehicles themselves, we had what's called a key secure system where the people on our department have a code that they punch in so they can get the key out. It's mostly for ambulance calls so they can get into some of these buildings. The key secure, so we have our end of life. So we tried to put this in the capital budget for this year, but it got shifted to just our catch-all operational budget. One of those that you see there belongs on the fire side. Amanda must have put it in here on the ambulance side, so it's split between the 2 budgets.
Okay.
And they came and I don't know what's the timeline on installing them?
We're trying to do the programming all in one swoop, so we have to kind of get the old ones out, get the new ones in, and then program them all in one swoop without having any downtime, essentially, because we want to make sure those keys are secured but also have access to them if we have a call. So we're trying to coordinate that. The Intercept vehicle, which was kind of the hard one, the box got installed in there, so we'll start working on the other ones here shortly.
We have close to 200 of these boxes around the city and some in the township. And that's one thing we have to do between now and the end of the month. That whole program's under my name. So when a new customer wants a box for their building, they submit it's all done online now. It used to be a paper thing, but they do it all online, and I get a request and review it and okay it so they can complete the purchase. And then when the box comes, they usually, whoever the developer or the building owner calls to find out where we want it mounted. And then that goes on a list. We have a master list of where all the boxes are. And during fire inspections, I try to get in the boxes to make sure all the keys in there work. And you'd be surprised how many times people will change the locks, especially residential buildings. We have Knox boxes on condominium buildings, but we don't ask for personal, privately owned condos. If somebody wants to give us their key, we'll put it in the box, but there's no way we're gonna go check, it's a private thing, and so long as we get in the building, we can figure out how to get into their condo.
So is that a yearly subscription of Knox then, or is it more of a,
Now, this is just for the hardware.
the boxes?
Yeah, there's no,
There is no.
yeah, you get the software update with the new Key Secure.
Yeah, there is a yearly subscription now.
Oh,
It's a couple $100 a year, but it's not, obviously, it doesn't match the invoices that we see here. The invoices here are mostly because of the hardware costs of the units themselves.
I think we'd be getting a discount for all the boxes. We
You would think, wouldn't you?
know that. Yeah.
So you said this was end of life for these, so how, we won't have these big costs for another, how many years?
Oh, at least 10.
Yeah.
The current ones we have are probably 15 years old, at least. So,
We'll move on to ambulance calls, both transports and non-transports.
We had quite a few calls outside the city limits, so that's why our on-scene time's a little higher than we've been spoiled with the last few months. It's still, good to have the people in the station that can respond right away, because they're out the door very quickly.
Non-transports, those calls on the 29th of September, same location, was that a traffic accident, or what was that?
Yeah, when we go and they don't want to be transported, we still assess the individuals and get information, and typically they don't get billed. But the way the IMIC trend works, each patient gets a new alarm number, so
Okay.
it is the same incident.
Any questions for the chief there? No. Paramedic intercepts, that list is getting shorter.
Yeah, it's probably the slowest month I've seen. We made up for it the other day. I think we had at least 2 in one day, one to Fredonia, one to Belgium. But it seems like it's totally based on Fredonia's staffing availability of their paramedic. I don't know. I can't keep track of when they're fully staffed and when they're not until we get the call.
Okay. And mutual aid calls. We had 3 that went to outside agencies last month.
Yeah, we didn't have the staffing for the second unit, so Saukville had to get called for these 3.
Okay, good. Anything else on the ambulance side?
No.
Okay, then we can move on to fire department, September fire invoices.
A consolidated door was repaired for a spring that broke on one of our busiest, well, I don't think it's the busiest door, it's the second, because the door in front of the ambulance is the busiest one, but this is the one in front of the lead engine. And we've mentioned this in the presentations we've given about the new public safety building, and it's just getting to the point where the repairs on a oversized overhead garage door, they don't have these springs in stock. They have to be custom made, and fortunately, it's somewhat of a standard size, but they still have to do the measuring, and then they have to get up there on their lifts and all that stuff, so it's not a cheap proposition. We have one of these go probably once every 3 or 4 years. Cedar Lake Sales is the work we had done on the big boat. We had some issues with it not running properly, and they finally figured it out. You can see we've split the consolidated doors. The the 600 was when they came out to see what was wrong, and then we split the two. So the actual cost of repairs was almost $5,000, over $5,000.
Any questions about fire invoices? No? Okay. We can move on to fire calls for September. Anything jump out at you there, Chief?
We had pretty good brush fire out in the town there on the 4th. Somewhat, it was a windy day, and somebody decided to do some burning without paying attention to the way the wind was, and got about an acre going. We had to call in mutual aid. Grafton and Saukville came with their ATVs, and they've got like tank treads on them, and those things are pretty slick to watch them just, plow through the field, and somebody sitting on the back squirting the water on the fire. These weren't raging infernos, but they were just in low-lying brush and just kind of hard to get to.
Any commissioners' questions there at all? Okay. Then let's talk about the hiring process for firefighter paramedic positions created by the April referendum.
I am pleased to announce that the application process is now open. Links to the applications can be found on the city website and our website as well, shared out through social media and other hiring kind of platforms. The application process for both the firefighter paramedic and the fire officer paramedic positions will stay open until November 1st. We will do an interview with fire department personnel and the medical director in the middle of November, with the plan to hopefully do a interview with the Police and Fire Commission the first week of December. That should give us ample time to make offers to the candidates and get them done with physicals and background checks and all of that fun stuff, with a goal to have them start in early January.
And remind me again, how many positions are we trying to fill?
We are hiring 3 firefighter paramedic positions and 3 fire officer paramedic positions.
Okay, great.
Do you guys have any questions on the process? Otherwise, most of the stuff is on our website. If you go to pwfd.org/career, you can find the job description and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, we've got it out on most of the hiring pages. We did quite a bit of research on where people are looking in the current job market. It's been shared at MATC with their current paramedic students and some of the other tech colleges. So we're trying to cast a pretty wide net.
And you said you've had some inquiries about it already?
Yep. We've had some questions. We've had a couple of submitted applications already. So we're moving forward. We kind of went with a more digital application process this time and kind of tried to move things along from an IT standpoint and a technology standpoint to try to make the application process a little bit more user-friendly. So hopefully that helps us as well.
Okay, great. Any questions?
And no, I'm not applying.
We probably couldn't afford you, Chief.
Start all over again.
And, okay, I guess we have to talk about aerial fire trucks again.
Yeah, I attended the General Governance and Finance Committee meeting last week to try to follow up and get this process going after your last meeting. We're trying to get this truck ordered. I included 3 documents, and the first one is a letter from Eric Eberhardt. And this letter was based on the proposal that you saw at your last meeting. He goes through that and asks for changes. The next item is the Reliant new updated proposal with the corrections that the city attorney, you have to almost put them side by side, the old proposal and the new proposal. The price stays the same, it's just verbiage and things like that. And then the last document that you have is the actual contract that will go and hopefully be signed by the mayor and the city clerk and the, I think it's the finance director, if the council approves the purchase of this tomorrow night.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I do have a question, Chief, on Attorney Eberhardt's. I draw your attention to his 7th bullet point, agreement section 6, agreement changes, page 1. Because this was my understanding too, and I did put them side by side, but maybe I'm missing something. My basic question is, Pierce is unique in the industry as the only manufacturer that guarantees the price of the apparatus from the moment a contract is signed until delivery. Is that still true?
Yeah.
Okay, so Attorney Eberhardt just wanted to clean that language up to ensure that we captured that, right? He saw some inconsistency there. You're comfortable that
Yes,
price will be locked? Is that true?
that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we've talked
Well,
about that.
hopefully, the finance director will make the presentation during the agenda item tomorrow night, and I'll be either sitting next to him or standing next to him to prompt him on some of the more technical questions that might be asked, but it's a wonderful piece of apparatus, you know. The one we have now served us well. I'm glad you didn't get stuck up and we had to bring you down manually.
I could still be up there.
Well, that's what's nice about this vehicle as opposed to some of the other similar ones. It's easy to climb down the ladder. The other ones, the competition have their, what they call escape ladders on there, and they're designed more for nimble firefighters than civilians who are trying to talk into coming out of a burning building and getting in your bucket with you, so.
Yeah, I did check out the ladder coming down to make sure it was there and safe for me to do that if need be. Okay, good. And then, Chief, the comment on the fire department's open house also?
Well, you know, since we stopped doing the pancake breakfast, I think it was the most steady crowd that I've ever seen. You know, I think it was a smart thing to tag along with the PD and use the fall festival as a means of getting people in there, but it was from the time before we opened our doors, you know, which was 10 o'clock, there were people there, and we couldn't do the fire truck rides like we normally do, but I think we had a good show otherwise. You know, the line to get on the bucket and go up was, you know, fairly long the whole time, and we gave away a lot of. We have our Fire EMS Association to thank for, they paid for some of the giveaway items. We had Frisbees for the kids and water bottles with little fire helmets as the stopper on the top. Those were kind of cool. We were also out in the schools all last week. Hit Lincoln on Tuesday, Dunwoody on Wednesday, and St. John the 23rd on Thursday. And we go from now 3K, or, you know, 3-year-olds, who are barely know what a fire truck is, but their eyes are wide open, all the way up to second grade. And by the time, you know, we've had them in second grade, they can hopefully take this on forever and pass it on to their families. And the key is, you know, just getting out of the house if your smoke detector goes off, keeping the smoke detectors up to date. And so many of them are hardwired now, they still have battery backup. And we teach the kids how to go home. I give them homework assignment where they go home and ask their moms and dads to test them, because there is a test button that a lot of people don't know. So, you know, the amount of residential fires is way, way down, thankfully, and fire fatalities. So Fire Prevention Week's a very important time of the year, and I'm sure you'll keep it up. Got to teach Joe how to go to the schools. He was busy last week trying to get our public safety building on track, so I excused him from going and having the little kids jump on him. And
We'll see you in October of '25.
yeah, special consultant. And then something I didn't
Sparky.
put on the agenda, but our new chief is going to jump into an ISO audit on Thursday. we got word that they're coming to rate the city again. They do it probably every 3 to 4 or 5 years. They sent all sorts of documents that we're completing now that we have to present to them. They used to come in and inspect every fire truck, go through all the compartments to make sure you had a certain amount of equipment. Now we do the inventory for them and they, do a little spot checking here and there. And then they've got a pretty lengthy document dealing with training, response, and, just the ISO, when they rate a city, 50% is your water system, 40% is the fire department, which includes your apparatus, your training, call responses, something like that. And the other 10% is how they receive alarms, namely they'll go over to Ozaukee County and inspect the dispatch center. Right now, we're, the lower the number, the better your rating is. Right now, we're in ISO class 3. We're just into the 3 by last rating by about 3 points. So we're hoping that we don't slip. And that's why, replacing that fire apparatus is key to the future of our ISO class 3. A normal homeowner can't do any better by having a 3, but commercial properties see a significant decrease between a 3 and a 4, so,
Will our full-time staffing additions help that rating in the future?
yeah.
Joe, you happy they're coming while the chief is still here?
Ecstatic that he is still here and was nice enough to schedule it when he was still here.
Well, I'm just gonna get you going. I got other things to do that day, so. So that's all I've got
Okay,
for 20 years' worth of reporting to you.
that sounds great.
If I drop this mic, I don't know if I.
Okay, so I see our next meeting is Monday, November 11th. And if we have nothing further to announce or deal with, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned.